Hello and welcome to Competitive Crunch. My name is Spade, and this is a show which is not quite bite-sized. Hence the crunch, it is more powerful and super effective. And today we're gonna take a look at the Mega Pokemon of Generation 6, Pokemon X and Y. And let's start off with some random interesting information. So, something that a lot of people have been wondering is that if you use Trick or Switcheroo, Covet, Thief, Embargo, or Magic Room on the Mega Pokemon or the Pokemon holding the Mega Stones, will they get affected by those moves? And the answer is no. So if you try to Trick or Switcheroo off the Mega Stone, that will fail. If you try to also knock it off, that will not work. If you try to steal it with a Thief or Covet, those moves will still do damage, but they will not get rid of the item. And also, if you use Embargo or the Magic Room, they will just simply do nothing to the Mega Pokemon. Because those moves normally affect the use of items, you cannot use them. But when you're facing a Mega Pokemon, if you use those moves on them, they will basically do nothing. And then some other information, I talked about this in the past, but the speed issue has been something that people have been wondering about the Mega Pokemon, because how in the world does it work? Like if I scroll down, like here for example, we have Mega Alakazam and Mega Gengar here, and let's say Mega Alakazam normally has base speed of 120, and then you Mega Evolve it, and let's say you're facing a Mega Gengar. You're facing a Mega Gengar, and then you bring out Alakazam, you Mega Evolve it, and then you're still slower than the Mega Gengar, and you're wondering, like, why did that happen? Because I should have 150 speed when I Mega Evolve. But so that has made people wonder, like, do Mega Evolutions get their speed during the next turn? Which has confused a lot of people, and the answer is, after you select your move, that is when the game decides which Pokemon, or that is when the game checks which of the Pokemon is faster. And in that case, when you bring your Alakazam, you go for Psychic against Mega Gengar, then the game will check the speed. It will see that the Mega Gengar that you're facing is 130 speed, and then it will check that your Alakazam has 120 speed, meaning you will be slower, and then Gengar will just destroy your life with Shadow Ball. Because how it works is that after it has checked your speed, then the Mega Evolution takes place, and thus, if you're in a situation like I just mentioned, you will be slower than the opposing Mega Gengar because of the mechanics, how the speed ties are, or the speed tiers are defined in the Pokemon games themselves. So that is definitely something that you gotta keep in mind. And also, one random bit of information, of course, is that you can only perform Mega Evolution once during a battle. You can bring 6 Pokemon, for example, with Mega Stones, but only one of them can evolve. So on some situations, you could bring 2 and then decide, depending on the situation, which one are you gonna wanna Mega Evolve. But I guess the recommendation would be to have only one Pokemon with the Mega Stone, because only one can evolve during a match. But to each their own, what you want to do. But those are the random facts that I wanted to first talk about. And then let's look at these Mega Evolutions, Mega Pokemon that we got here. 28 in total. And by the way, I'm on the Cerebi website. I will leave a link in the description, but they have a nice list of all the 28 Mega Evolution Pokemon that are currently available when this video gets uploaded. So let's now go through them, starting off with Mega Venusaur. Gains this nice ability Thick Fat, which is definitely nice for a Mega Venusaur, which is weak to fire and ice, and that will basically mean that fire and ice type moves hit Mega Venusaur for neutral damage, and also gains some higher bulk than the original one has. I believe it's, normal Venusaur's special defense is a lot better, or at least a tad bit better than the special defense is better than its physical defense. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And now its defense is actually a little bit higher than its special defense. So overall, 123, 120 special defense, and That makes this thing pretty bulky, but the fact is that, you know, what kind of hurts it is that you cannot have an item on it. For example, you know, would be so nice to have leftovers, but of course you cannot use it. But then again, as you gain some extra bulk, and the fact that, you know, we don't have permanent weather, so for example, using something like Synthesis is a little bit easier in this generation, as there's no perma hail or perma rain or perma sand ruining your otherwise unreliable healing moves. It's still not the best move. It has low power points, and you know, if you're still facing a Tyranitar, it may be able to ruin you, but still, it's better than nothing for good old Venusaur here. But yeah, something that I also should have mentioned earlier, one of the biggest drawbacks of course for the Mega Pokemon, but something that really compensates Mega Pokemon, because when they were first introduced, a lot of people, myself included, thought that they would be really broken. But the fact that they simply cannot be holding any items means that they are really restricted to what they can do, because obviously you can't slap like choice items, so it's in a sense like they are more easier to deal with, because in most cases they cannot be running as many sets as the regular Pokemon would be, because you don't have to be predicting around the Mega Pokemon being choiced, as in like choice scarfed, so you always know its speed, and it cannot be banded or specs, or can't be using any kind of boosting item anyways, like Life Orb, and bulky Pokemon such as Mega Pokemon such as Venusaur here, you know, it cannot be using leftovers, which is kind of a huge drawback for it, and or a setback rather, and you know, that's what really just simply holds them back. But I will just stop rambling now. But the fact that they can't be using items is definitely a setback for them, which they kind of need to work around, and that definitely compensates for their great stat boosts. I believe each one of them has like, do they have all 600 base stats? I think all of them at least gained, if not 600 altogether, I think all of them gained like 100 more to their original base stats, except for Mega Alakazam, which gained 90, because its special defense rose by 10 in this generation. And that's something I could also talk about in the future. Some random stat raises of the old Pokemon. But anyways, let's move on to Mega Charizard X. Definitely an interesting one. Turns into Fire Dragon. That's definitely something that fans have wanted for a long, long time. And that makes Charizard X competitively a lot better too, because it doesn't need to worry about the weakness to Stealth Rock. So once it Mega Evolves, it will stay Mega Evolved for the rest of the game, and meaning it will have a definitely easier time switching in. But of course, something you need to worry about is that it can now get hit by Earthquake, and then all the other hazards such as, you know, spikes and toxic spikes, although they are not that big of a problem. But definitely the fact that it doesn't have the Stealth Rock weakness is really nice for it, and also gains the Tough Claws ability, and coupled with the higher attack than Charizard normally has, you can definitely you know, go using some sort of a Dragon Dancing set with this thing. That's what I've been seeing a lot when playing online on Showdown and also on Wi-Fi. But a typical Dragon Dance set really benefits from this thing, because you can have like Flare Blitz and Outrage, which also get boosted by the Tough Claws. This ability basically buffs up the physical contact moves, such as Outrage and Flare Blitz. And of course you can run weaker moves such as Dragon Claw or Fire Punch, which are more reliable, but at the same time they are weaker. And of course for coverage, like something like Brick Break or EQ is kind of necessary. But otherwise, like Fire Dragon coverage by itself is like really good. There are like only a few obscure things like Heatran that resist it. And well, I guess there might be some like new fairy types like well, Azumarill actually. Yeah, that thing like is walling this thing like semi-hard, because it is water and fairy, so it's immune to dragon, and it does resist fire. So there is that. But so in that in that sense, you know, EQ would be a pretty decent coverage move for option, although that does not get a Tough Claws boost. But yeah, overall, I think it also gains a bit higher physical defense, which is kind of nice for it. Also, with the Fire Dragon typing, you don't need to worry about Aqua Jet that much, so that's nice that you get higher defense, so you might be able to take those a lot of those common physical priority moves like Aqua Jet and Mach Punch and Bullet Punch definitely, and things like that. So Mega Charizard overall has great things going for itself, mainly because it doesn't need to worry about the pesky Stealth Rocks anymore that much. But then we got Mega Charizard Y, which is still Fire Dragon type, but it also did gain Drought, the Sun Summoning ability for 5 turns. And it's always going to be 5 because Mega Charizard obviously cannot be holding the... what's the Weather Rock for the Sun? I don't remember, but whatever the Sun Rock thingy-mapper is, that makes Sun last for 8 turns. That doesn't work on Mega Charizard Y, obviously, because cannot be holding any other items. But coupled with the Drought and the 159 special attack, this thing hits like a truck, but you still need to just worry about those entry hazards. Stealth Rocks definitely, because it loses half of its health whenever it comes in. So definitely a nice buff for the Mega Charizard. I was really excited about the Mega Charizard Y getting the Drought ability. I thought it would help out in the Weather Wars, but now with the Weather nerf, it's not really that useful. But definitely you can still clear the skies when you come in with Mega Charizard, and then just have 5 turns basically with Sun, because you can attack on the same turn as you Mega Evolve and summon the Sun. So it's going to be hitting like a truck, something you really got to watch out for, but still the best way to deal with it really is just to use Stealth Rocks. And then we got Mega Blastoise here. It gained the new Mega Launcher ability, and it also now learns moves such as Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Water Pulse. I think it already got Water Pulse. But besides that, yeah, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, and then I think there were at least one more moves that get boosted by the Mega Launcher that Mega Blastoise has access to. But it can be using those, and definitely like Dark and Fighting coverage is like, it's pretty good, although outside of Fairies. But you still have the option to go for the Water Pulse. So I think overall having Mega Blastoise using those 3 moves, Water Pulse and Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse, and then potentially like it could be your Rapid Spin supporter, although in this generation like Defog is kind of the way to go. But at least at this beginning metagame, when you don't really have access to many Defog users, Mega Blastoise can definitely be a scary Rapid Spin user, because it has those powerful coverage moves that get boosted by the Mega Launcher, coupled with its, I think, slightly higher special attack. I think it's also a bit bulkier, but it can definitely do some fierce rapid spinning when it's going to be difficult to stop it with all those nice coverage moves that Mega Blastoise does have access to. But anyways, then let's move on to Mega Electus, which has this crazy 175 special attack coupled with 150 speed. So this thing is gonna be hitting like a truck, but of course it does lose the really useful Magic Guard ability, which is, well, the fact in general is that, you know, how Alakazam was really good in the previous metagame was that, you know, coupled with the Magic Guard, it could be using Life Orb and Focus Sash. It could really make those items shine, but now it has Trace in the Mega Alakazam form, and of course you cannot be using any other items when you use the Alakazamite or whatever that item is. But it's definitely, with this blazing speed and the higher special attack, it can definitely be a deadly sweeper, and probably gonna be seen a lot in the OU meta game. And then we got Gangcar, and of course this thing, the main attraction here is that it gains Shadow Tag. But of course Mega Gangcar or Gangcar in general, they don't get any kind of like boosting moves. I At least in the past they haven't, and as far as I know they still don't, but still when you have something with Shadow Attack and 170 base special attack coupled with 130 base speed, this thing is a really dangerous revenge killer, but of course you cannot utilize it the best you would hope by, you know, slapping a Choice Scarf on it, so it would be the ultimate revenge killer, just coming in, trapping, outspeeding everything. But still, with this base speed of 130, you can outspeed a lot of things, and with the great coverage and the high special attack it has, Mega Gengar is really a deadly Pokemon. I don't really know, is it going to be uber potential? Possibly even, because the Shadow Attack is just kind of a stupid ability, because you can just come in on anything, and if you're faster, your opponent just cannot do anything. And with Gengar's great coverage moves, it usually has a super effective move of choice for most of the situations, so that is just really something you've gotta watch out for. And with the new Steel type mechanics, Ghost typing offensively is even more dangerous than it was in the past, and again, Shadow Attack combined with this 170 base attack and speed of speed of 130 is something really dangerous, and we shall see what's gonna happen to Mega Gangcar. Is it going to get banned? It's definitely kind of just broken in a sense that, like I said, it can just trap anything, come in and destroy everything with its high stats, but we shall see how it's going to work out for Mega Gengar. Of course, Ghost types cannot be trapped, but, you know, that's only one thing going against it, really. And then we got Mega Kangaskhan with the Parental Bond ability. Gotta say, I really like this, you know, design of Mega Kangaskhan, because a lot of these Mega Pokemon, they just turn into freaks. And then just Mega Kangaskhan, just so simple. The child jumps out of the pouch of the mother and is ready to fight and ready to protect its mother. So really a cool concept. And of course with Parental Bond, you can attack twice during a turn, which is like absurdly amazing, and something that a lot of people have been using is Power Up Punch with this thing, because you hit once, you get a boost, then you hit twice. But of course the second hit only hits with 50% power from the original hit. So that's something that you gotta keep in mind, and you know, it kind of makes sense. You know, you got the child hitting after the mother, and then it's a weaker hit because it's the child hitting. But still, Mega Kangaskhan being able to hit twice is something like really crazy. And when you come in, you Mega Evolve and you revenge kill something with like Power Up Punch, then you got +2, then you got Sucker Punch for like coverage and priority, and then Powerful Return to hit, and I guess EQ for extra coverage. That thing is just an absolute monster, and kind of just difficult to deal with, because it can take down some physical walls once it, you know, powers up with those Power Up Punches. Like usually I've been trying to send out a Gliscor against this thing, but that thing goes for Power Up Punch, gets a +2, then, you know, it destroys Gliscor with like 2 returns if it gets like max damage, and that is just absolutely horrible. But I believe in doubles, if you use multi-hitting moves like Earthquake or Rock Slide, they will not hit twice in doubles. And that would, I guess that would kind of be broken in doubles if you could hit twice. If you could hit 2 Pokemon, you know, twice in the doubles metagame. So they decided to kind of nerf that doubles mechanic so that Mega Kangaskhan wouldn't be the most broken thing ever, I guess. But if you're playing doubles, that's definitely something that you gotta keep in mind. But yeah, Mega Kangaskhan overall, I think it got a little attack buff and perhaps even higher defenses. I'm not sure if they were base 100 before. I think they are higher than usual. Not sure about the speed. I think that one is higher too. But the main interest, of course, is the fact that it can hit twice during a turn, which makes it a really great Pokemon. And then we got Mega Pincer here, and that has 155 base attack and higher speed than in its normal form. And of course it has this unique ability Aerolate, which turns normal type moves into flying type ones. So if you're using something like Return, that will be like a 102 base power flying type move, also getting boosted by Mega Pincer's new secondary stab, or typing, new secondary typing, where it will gain the stab same type attack bonus. So that's definitely something interesting that you can do with Pincer. That you have the extra coverage and you also gain stab from the flying type moves. And of course you could also be running like quick attack on this thing, because it's actually a pretty decent move, because it's like stab priority, flying type priority that you can abuse, because Mega Pincer, of course, it cannot be using a choice item. But the bug flying type, of course, you know, not really the best typing really, but I guess you can still make use of it, especially with the Aerial Aid's ability. And if you actually manage to revenge kill something with a regular Pincer and get like Moxie boost, this thing could be a really deadly sweeper. But I don't really know about this. Is not really, in my opinion, not really one of the top tier Mega Evolutions. Like if we compare to like these three right here, these are the ones that I consider really top tier Mons Mega Pokemon. So then we got Mega Gyarados here, 155 attack, and then I think, yeah, definitely a higher special defense here, and higher defense too. Perhaps, I think its speed is pretty much the same, but it does gain the dark typing, which is kind of interesting. Does it, like, so far the Mega Gyarados I've seen, like, I haven't seen them using any dark type stab moves. You would imagine Gyarados getting Crunch. I guess it could use Bite, but I'm not really sure if it does get like Crunch, but that would kind of be a nice move. But I don't know about Mega Gyarados. Honestly, not really the greatest thing, and regular Gyarados still has the Moxie ability, which is really nice. But I guess in a sense that you can bring out Gyarados. When you first bring it out, you can have Intimidate on it, and with that you can just force your opponent to, you can force your opponent to lower its attack, or in most instances just force it to switch out because of that Intimidate, gaining you that extra chance to boost up, and then you can Dragon Dance, and coupled with this 155 attack, it is quite a dangerous Pokemon. But then again, with this dark typing, you have, well, I don't really know defensively, is it any better than water and flying? Like with that, in the past, with water flying, you had the fighting type resistance, but now of course you have fighting type weakness, which makes Mega Gyarados also weak to common Mach Punches, which is not really good for it. But honestly, like, I'm not really a fan of the Mega Gyarados that much. And then we got Aerodactyl, Mega Aerodactyl, which also has the Tough Claws ability, and I think it's at least a bit higher attack, and then 150 base speed, which is definitely blazing. And I think at least it gets some fangs that it can abuse the Tough Claws boost. And then of course you usually want to have like Stone Edge and Earthquake for your coverage. But I don't think it gets any like good flying type stab move, like outside of Fly, or I guess the Aerial Ace would be really the best one. But I'm not really too thrilled about the Mega Aerodactyl, although it is nice that the Aerodactyl that was a standalone Pokemon did gain a Mega Evolution. And next we got the Mewtwo X and Y, and honestly, like, these things are, Ubers, so personally I don't really care about them too much. But Mega Mewtwo X, 190 base attack coupled with the fighting typing, and it also has the Steadfast ability, so once it flinches, you can get a a speed boost. So that's kind of nice, although kind of situational. I don't know, like I guess it might be able to take like one Air Slash from the Shaman Sky and then get a speed boost and then be like horribly fast and powerful. But yeah, not really much to say about a Mega Mewtwo X. Of course, it's super powerful, super broken. It's Mewtwo. We already know everything about Mewtwo. Then we got Mega Mewtwo Y, which gains even higher special attack, 194 and 140 base speed, which is absolutely crazy. And you can couple this thing with like Calm Mind, and oh man, this is gonna be a really dangerous Pokemon in the Ubers. For sure, although, again, it cannot be using any kind of boosting item, but 194, I'm sure that makes up for, like, Life Orb Mewtwo. Like, at least it comes pretty close. And the fact that, you know, it won't be taking recoil is kind of nice for it. And the higher base speed, so... yeah, definitely a dangerous Pokemon in the Ubers meta. And then we got Mega Ampharos, which gains Dragon typing, so it's Electric Dragon, and it's actually quite slow in the Mega form. I think at least I think it's slower than the original one, but it does have 165 special attack, which is nice, and I think tad bit buffed up defenses as well. But definitely a hard-hitting Pokemon, but like the fact that it's so slow means that it cannot really do much sweeping, and I guess you could be using agility, but with base 45 speed, it's not really that good, honestly. Not really the fan of Mega Ampharos in the competitive scene, although I do like the hair that it gains. And Wall Breaker is kind of nice. You can spam Thunderbolt against something like, let's say, Thundurus, and it will still get affected because, yeah, that's how Mold Breaker works. Then we got Mega Scissor. Gains higher attack and higher defense. I think also higher special defense and speed, definitely. I think it was 65 in the past, so that's kind of nice, but it still does get to keep the Technician ability, which is definitely great for it, but I don't really know how much, like, I guess a bulky Sword Dance Scissor is gonna be a bit more interesting to use, because you have higher defenses, and then you got, well, yeah, you in the past, like, the thing with Sword Dancing Scissor is that do you want to be using like Life Orb or do you want to be using lefties? But with Mega Scissor you only have one choice, but you do have higher attack, you do have higher defenses, you can couple that with Roost, and once you have eliminated all the counters that do resist Bug and Steel, which is like mainly all the fire types or a lot of them, you can have a Deadly Sweeper in your hands. But honestly, like, it doesn't really change Scissor that much, and I think Scissor still likes to you know, have that choice band around and just U-turn and do its usual things. But you know, you still do have the option to go Mega and be at least a tad bit more bulkier than in the past, and in some cases it may actually